Here are a few of the craziest jobs you're going to find in the future. Number 8. Personal social media manager. We know what you did last summer, and the summer before that, and probably the summer before that too. With the rise of social media and people's constant need to have to publish anything and everything that happens in their lives, different entities are constantly keeping logs of things that people have done, whether voluntary or not. It's not exactly a big secret that many people have at one point published some stuff on social media that they'd rather forget. It's actually very common to have way too much personal info roaming in the internet. It's only logical that this situation is going to get worse and worse as it becomes easier and easier to post personal experiences online with the proliferation of easy-to-use apps. In a world where a person's every move is increasingly monitored on cameras and published online for the rest of society to see, it makes sense that more and more people are starting to cover their digital tracks and closely monitor their online behavior over the years. Someone can attempt to do this all by themselves, but the reality is that a lot of information about a person isn't readily available to the common user. This is where a personal web manager consultant would come in. These consultants will have the knowledge and know-how to locate and scrub any unsavory information about their clients scattered all over the web. Clients can ask them to remove or update old social media posts because, let's face it, some of those posts or pics we have from college probably doesn't paint the prettiest picture, and we've all pretty much completely forgotten about it. That, and who really wants to go through years and years of social media posts unless you're getting paid for it? Actually, now that I think about it, this job may be filled with actual laugh-out-loud moments. Number 7. Digital Death Manager. Going hand in hand with a personal social media manager, the digital death manager is someone who a lot of people will be hiring in the future to handle the closing of all of a person's online accounts, from social media to banking to credit card accounts. A digital death manager will manage a person's social media and online presence after a person's departure from the physical world. With more than 5 million accounts on Facebook that are inactive because of death, it's understandable that there will be people who will need help with their social media accounts, either choosing to let it live on in eternity or having it wiped from existence. These digital death managers will help people in choosing their options what to do with their social media accounts. As crazy as this sounds, maybe one day there will be an online funeral for people that can make a person's actual funeral. In more serious matters, digital death managers will probably work hand in hand with lawyers to help close any important online accounts, from bank accounts to unused credit card accounts to subscription accounts such as Tidal or Spotify. Number 6. Food chemist. Believe it or not all careers in the future are going to be social media related. One of the most interesting future jobs will be the position of a food chemist. Of course, this ties in with new technologies that will need to have advanced further, such as the genetic modification of crops. In the future, ultra-high-tech farms will most likely be able to create exotic vegetation. Special hybrid crops will be created for the future as space becomes a premium and the demand for exotic fruits and vegetables rise. Short-stalk corn, personal-sized fruits and vegetables are just a couple of the new options that consumers will have from farmers of the future. Let's not forget lab-grown animals as well, and also the ramifications of eating meat that's been genetically modified. But that's just something we'll have to learn about down the road. With all the new technology, there'll be a need to check for food safety, and come on, they still gotta make sure that the food actually still tastes good. This is where food chemists come in. A food chemist will probably have a biology background and possibly some nanotechnology or engineering experience as well. Food chemists may actually design new foods in order to make them more appealing or just more nutritious. Enhancing post-harvest flavor and bringing in some nutrient infusions to some sort of crazy hybrid food is something that's completely possible. This means that you could get a cucumber that also serves as your daily multivitamin, or an eggplant that actually tastes like meat. Whew! I'm not sure if I'm personally ready for all this, but hey, maybe it'll be completely normal to someone 1,000 years down the road. Number 5. Cryptocurrency banker. In an ever-changing digital world, the way to transfer money will be going through some major changes. One of the most talked about future professions is within cryptocurrency. To give you an idea, in 2017, 20% of all online trades are already being done with alternative currencies. That's currencies different than, for example, the typical dollar, euro, or yen. Economists state that these cryptocurrencies, with their decentralization, is the future of the banking system. Cryptocurrency in time will replace the traditional currencies used in the world today. So, obviously, with cryptocurrency as the money of the future, there's going to be dedicated bankers dealing with cryptocurrency. Simply put, sooner or later, cryptocurrency is going to soon be subject to regulation by government, just like any other currency. As more users are adopting cryptocurrencies and beginning to mine them like mining for actual gold, it's become increasingly difficult to mine for these currencies as competition increases. While at the beginning of Bitcoin, a decently fast computer at home could mine Bitcoins, now anyone interested needs a high-powered supercomputers solely dedicated to mining. Just like with any other currency, there will be banks who will make their money with cryptocurrency transactions, and there will be a need for the same services just like with traditional money. Except in the future, every transaction will be digital, anonymous, and decentralized. Number 4. Bioelectronics implant surgeon. You might have already seen a video or two about some people having microchip-like implants installed on their bodies to do everyday things, such as paying for things with a credit card. In the future, these implants will be way more common, and the day will come when people are going to be installing computers straight into their brains. Of course, that day probably isn't going to be within our lifetimes, but it'll be coming soon enough. Everything from having a digital implant in your hand in order to easily pay for your groceries, to a brain implant to download information straight into your brain will make life even more efficient and streamlined. Imagine not having to use your iPhone anymore to do a Google search. All you'd have to do is just think about a Google search, and Google will pull it up for you in your head. Having instantaneous information or media on hand, just thinking about it will be a game changer. But people are then going to have to be dealing with blank stares and scrolling eyes, just like having to deal with people glued to their smartphones today. Maybe one day, getting an implant by a digital implant surgeon isn't as easy as getting some random piercing at some shop. There are people out there that are already getting a way early start to this type of technology in their own bodies, and these people are called biohackers. They're people who implant hardware ranging from microchips to magnets inside their bodies. The medical community obviously haven't actually signed off on these sort of implants, and the long-term health effects will be something that'll have to be studied in the future. Number 3. Brain implant technician. In the same realm as a bioelectronics implant surgeon, a brain implant tech will be someone who specializes in monitoring and updating digital implants placed in the brain. Hopefully, whoever becomes one of these technicians will have at least a biology or engineering degree. Or maybe there'll be a special school to become one of these techs one day. The job is essentially to support and troubleshoot any sort of issues associated with installation of any electronics to the brain. These brain implants aren't really as far off as you might think, as they're actually already in the beginning stages. Some startups are already developing brain implants that would serve actual different medical purposes, not just for entertainment purposes. The implants can help with different neurological diseases such as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, or epilepsy. However, more futuristic implants might one day be able to merge biological and artificial intelligence. This would mean that someone one day could be literally wired to every digital equipment in their home and could control everything with just a thought. Would this actually really enhance our lives? I mean, come on, we've got to use our bodies sometime, right? Number 2, home robot repair tech. As crazy as this sounds, one day there will be a time when it'll be completely normal to have a human-looking robot in a household. Robots may one day be as prevalent as having a car in the house, where it does all the most menial tasks in the house, such as cleaning, taking out the trash, or any sort of repetitive work. Although robots have actually been around for quite a long time, there will be a need for specialists who show up to people's houses to fix a human-looking robot. Current robot technicians perform crucial functions within robotics engineering, a field that has most of its applications planted squarely in the industrial arena. Robot technicians build, maintain, and repair robots in automated manufacturing plants and laboratory settings. Robot technicians right now are expertly skilled with computer programming and electromechanical engineering skills. However, home robotic repair techs are going to be able to wear many hats, as they have to interact with the customers and be able to do any repairs on the robot. The repairs will have to be a bit different as well, as technicians will need to make the robots look human again if the lifelike parts are in need of repair. In short, robot repair techs are going to have to look at a ton of human-looking machines and not have nightmares when they go home to sleep at night. Good luck with that one. Number 1. Augmented virtual reality architects. Who remembers Inception from 2010? This movie featured Leonardo DiCaprio leading a team of hackers who plant ideas in people's minds. They had to construct architecture that's almost like the real world, except not quite. This is exactly what virtual reality architects would be doing. Virtual reality architects will create computer-generated content that submerges a user in an environment they've created. Augmented reality architects will pretty much do the same thing, except what they construct will be overlaid on top of real-world environments. You've probably heard of or even played the super popular game Pokemon Go, which is a perfect example of augmented reality. The augmented reality field is booming with opportunities, and among the most exciting new positions are augmented reality architects. An AR architect will have to be skilled in design, architecture, engineering, and 3D modeling. The possibilities could be endless for a virtual reality architect. The planned structure of a building can be superimposed on a video feed at the exact same place where the building would be built. Or, for marketing purposes, a company could make their storefront look like Hogwarts, or maybe like a post-apocalyptic environment for Halloween, without doing actual physical work. Once a good portion of the population has their bioelectronics implanted, things in real life can look super wild in the future for people plugged in with chips in their brains. Here's what's next.
Let's be real. While it's true that robots are becoming smarter all the time, some of them are going to be a bit more personal than others. Engineers are now designing and building robots that are extremely human-like that people can have sex with, but in the future, they'll probably be even more like companion robots than sex robots.